everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. It's been like a month or two since I told the Storytime video on this channel, and the reason why is because it's hard to talk about recent events and things that happened years ago. So I just decided to just put all that stuff off and just record other topics and gameplays. But now I'm bringing back the Storytimes, and in this one, it's not one of those crazy type stories I talk about a lot. Well, there is one crazy incident that happened at bowling that I remember, but I thought maybe I should talk about something normal for once. And before we start this video, make sure to hit that red subscribe button because I'm trying to reach 2K subs. And now let's jump right into the story. So this story time takes place years ago, and I wasn't really into bowling because I'm not much of a sports person. I do like basketball and all, but that was when I was young and didn't go out that much. So yeah, you could say I was an introvert. And if you don't know what that is, look it up so you know what I'm talking about. But it was on a certain month where it was my friend's birthday. And it was the friend from my high school. And I think I mentioned him in an old Storytime video. And he called me telling me that he was having his birthday at the bowling alley. When he told me, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he replied back and said, are you coming? And I wasn't going to say no. That would make me look like a bad friend, and thus I can't just leave people like that. So I replied back and said, yes, I'm coming. So I got some different clothes on because I didn't want to look like shit, and my mom drove me to the bowling alley that me and her never went to, and we went inside. Now, I wasn't used to large crowds of people, but I was over that like years ago, and I happened to see my friend, and I'm going to give him a name, and I'm going to call him Xavier too. And why I'm going to call him that is because my friend actually has the same name as mine, except our last names were different. Before we started bowling, we just decided to eat some cake and then have a good time. And it was finally time for us to start bowling, and I was a bit nervous to do it because I didn't know how to fucking bowl, and I'll probably get so many fucking gutters every time I threw the ball. But as soon as I threw the ball, all of a sudden, I get a strike. And all of us were like shocked because this was my first time bowling, and me, someone who's never bowled in his entire life, is suddenly getting strikes and some spares. And that's where I started to enjoy this. And ever since that day, I always wanted to come here, and so did my mom. So on certain days, I would go to bowling, and my mom had joined this bowling league that was going on there. And we met this guy who I'm going to call Jefferson, and he was like my coach for bowling because my mom thought it was a good idea that I take some lessons because I was not bowling right, and the fact I needed to know what to do and what not to do. And to be honest, it was a great idea because now I'm better at bowling. And thanks to Jefferson for everything he taught me, because sometimes I would bowl like shitty. And you are probably going to ask, where's Jefferson now? Well, after a few days, and he just stopped coming, and I haven't seen him since then. And if he's watching this, hope you're doing okay. But if you thought some things were normal when I was at the bowling alley, think again, cause something happened on a certain day that I will never forget. It was the same time as funny, but at the same time it wasn't, cause this was just the stupidest thing that this person did. There was a league going on that my mom was in, and me and my mom's friend were just watching her. And as a few minutes go by, we start to hear someone yelling. And it was a guy yelling at a lady who seemed to be irritating him. And the guy said, I will not be disrespected by you. And then said some other shit that I can't remember. I only remember a few things that were said. And as he was walking away, the lady who started it all suddenly said, is it 'cause you're black? Yep, that's what she said. The moment she said that, I was like, oh my God, here we go. And the guy was angry and said something else to her, and then just went back to bowling. I mean, why the fuck would this lady go out of her way to say something like that, and nobody, except for the man, reacted to it? This was something I would never forget that day. And I thought this would never happen, but it did anyway. But yeah, guys, everything went okay. And now with what's going on in the world, I can't go bowling. But that's all I have to say here. But I will say that sometimes I do go bowling on certain days, not all the time like I used to. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap a like on the video, leave your stories in the comments down below, and I'll see you all later. Peace.